Okay, so what this chapter is all about, it is about how one cell, question is, I did not send you any homework question, but quickly we'll go over some material. How one cell becomes two cells. Am I making some sense a little bit? And that's something you should know after taking one semester of biology. That's a basic, fundamental, very, so let's watch this video. This is the real footage. This is the real footage of one cell. This is one cell, and there is no voice in this one. How that one cell is becoming two. Can you guys see that? Are you guys, here we go. It's an animal cell, it's round, right? Became two cells, right there. They put a camera, now became 4 cells. Now it became a ball of cells. 4 cells becomes what? How many cells? Well, if one cell becomes 2 cells, 2 cells become 4 cells, what is after 4 cells? 8. What is after 8? 16. It's exponential, right? After 16 is 32 cells. Because each one of those cells become 2 cells. Am I making some sense, everybody? The math is very simple. And then you have gastrula here. We do have models of these for you in the lab to look at, but not today, not on Wednesday. We'll look at it on when you come back from spring break. Is that right? You all know what I'm talking about? So, if you would, you have one cell, is that right, becomes 2 cells, right? Each one of this becomes another 2 cells, right? This one becomes another 2 cells. I should have not confused you and draw them like this, because all those 4 cells, they're all connected together. And each one of this becomes 2 cells. And they're all connected together. All of these cells, if I draw them separately, forgive me. Right? And so on and so forth.
Does it ever stop?
Never stops until we die. How about that? It will stop after birth. We'll talk about that. We'll get into there a little bit. Well, let's answer them now. Might as well. Now the question came up. I might as well answer it now. What happens in your mother's womb? 2 cells become 4 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, and so on and so forth, until the baby is developed. Okay? When the baby is developed, is born, the cells will still multiply, but they're not in that fashion. What will happen when after you have a person, this one cell will become another cell, this cell will die, and that it divides in 2, and one of them is supposed to die. Okay? Am I making some sense? Yes, the cells will grow when the baby is growing and growing and growing, still multiplying. Okay? But there is an age that we stop growing under mitosis. This process, I might as well write it down. Mitosis. Mitosis, right? All of this is mitosis. That's what this chapter is all about. Mitosis. It will stop age 20, 25. But still, the cells of our body, all of the cells of our body will undergo mitosis, except the cells of our brain and our muscles. The cells of brain and spinal cord do not go under mitosis anymore. You are born with a set number of brain cells and spinal and nerve cells and muscle cells, and you will die with a set number of brain cells and muscle cells. And that concept in biology is called eutelie. Eutelie means constant number of cells. Old days. Very old, very old days. Very not you guys. We're not talking about you guys are having cell phones, computers, laptops. When a teacher used to lecture, talk, students used to write. Nowadays, it's on YouTube. I don't know. It's your life. Again, it helps you to be in the ballpark and prevent, I think, even though it's in YouTube, it's in the textbook, it's in the PowerPoints, everything is everywhere nowadays. That's what, do you guys know Al Gore? That's what he came up with the definition. He was vice president of Clinton. You guys don't remember. You were not even born then.
We know Al Gore.
You know Al Gore.
Yeah.
He used the highways information. During those days, you had to go to the library, take out books. It takes time, look at it, read it, research it. Now you just say, Google it. Am I making some sense? That's why maybe you do not want to take the pleasure of taking notes. It's up to you. It's your life. It's your life. But anyhow. But again, taking notes is good because it prevents daydreaming to some extent. When you come in here, I ask you that the very first day, don't bring your body here. I don't want it. I don't want your body here. I want your mind. If you can do telepathy, is that what they say, telepathy?
Yeah.
If you can do that, don't come.
Yeah, tell.
Don't come to the class, just come during the exam time and ace them. You get A for this course, I promise. Don't come. Quizzes, Amir, you said, quizzes, all of them, you get 10 out of 10. If you just come during exam time and get A on the exams, I give you A. There are only 6 of them, right? You get A for the course. No lab reports, nothing. You got 100% in lab practical exam. Right? You got 100% in lab practical and you got 100% in each lecture exam. To me, that's an A. You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I hope, huh? You don't think I will do that? I will do that.
I think you would.
That's what online classes are, isn't it? You just take the test. To some extent. But then,
So your muscle cells don't undergo mitosis?
after you're born, not anymore.
So what happens when you tear a muscle or
You,
when
they regenerate. They grow back. You tear a muscle, right? Come back.
Really?
That's right. It's not like your bone. You fracture your bone. Of course, your bone comes back together, but the cells undergo mitosis. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
Same as you cut your nerve, right? Either they come back together, the nerves grow back together, or they don't, but you're paralyzed. That's what paralysis is.
Or you have
When
it
people,
back.
they cut their nerves
Yeah.
back there, they don't grow back.
They can't regenerate.
They can
muscles.
they cannot regenerate. They do not come back together.
Wow.
That's what you're paralyzed. I hope I'm making some sense. But other cells of your body, yeah, they will. You cut your skin,
Yeah.
the cells will undergo mitosis and grow back.
It comes back.
I hope I'm making some sense.
I thought your muscle cells did too.
Muscle cells don't. They come back together. That's what the best example I have for you, the people who their muscle cells undergo atrophy. You've heard of that? Atrophy means you lay down in bed for a long time.
Mhm.
You don't use those muscles. When you don't use your muscle cells, they die. They call it atrophy. And then when you want to come back and you do it, those cells are gone. History. Okay? Same as people who are paralyzed. They go to bed and stretch their legs, they move their legs, so at least technology might come in a few years that put the nerves together, but if the muscles are gone, they're gone.
So if you get like muscle cut out, then it's just
It's cut out.
gone
Yes.
forever.
Yeah, but again, remember, you can grow like muscle cells of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, bodybuilders.
Yeah.
What do? They increase their muscle size. They don't increase their muscle numbers.
Okay.
The size of the muscles increase.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and me probably have same number of muscle cells.
Okay.
But his muscle cells are this big, for example. My muscle cells are this big. Am I making some sense?
Mhm.
So the bodybuilders are increasing the number of the mitochondria in their muscle cells. Number of mitochondria increase, and of course the size of the muscle cells increase when you pump iron, when you exercise, whatever.
But that's just your body adapting, right? To like how much stress you're under with working out. It's not like you said, it's not more cells.
Not more cells, it's more size. It's a size. Okay, I hope. But if you have a little baby at home, that baby is growing taller and taller and taller, that's mitosis. That's the number of his bone cells, not muscle cells. His bone cells undergoing mitosis, skin cells undergoing mitosis. Am I making some sense?
Mm-hmm.
His muscle cells, skin cells, you have a plant at home, it's undergoing mitosis. You have a little baby at home, it's undergoing mitosis. The muscle cells, all of the cells, kidney, liver, everything else, except the nervous system, central nervous system, and the muscles, whatever muscles you have. Am I making some sense? Let's go. So, most cell division results in genetically identical daughter cells. What am I saying? That this cell genetically is identical to that cell, identical to this cell. They're all identical to each other. That's what I'm saying. Okay, genetically. So that sentence is saying, Amir, is that sentence saying, and we'll talk about it, exam number 4, material for exam number 4, that statement is saying the cells of your muscle cells, the nucleus of your muscle cells, and the nucleus of your neuron is they both have the same genetic makeup. Even though they do look completely different. Your white blood cells, cells of your white blood cells, and the cells of your eyes, or your muscles, or your liver, they are genetically alike. No, I didn't say they do look alike. I did not say that. They do look completely different. Your liver cells, your white blood cells are round. Your white blood cells are round, but the cells in your intestine that they absorb food this morning, you drank coffee, you had breakfast this morning, they are rectangular. Epithelial cells of the intestine. The cells in your intestine look like this, and the cells in the white blood cells that are fighting bacteria look like this. But the genetic makeup of this cell and that cell are exactly identical. That's what that sentence means. The exception is meiosis. We'll talk about meiosis. Meiosis is different than mitosis. Mitosis in Greek means thread. That's why the very first people saw these cells on the microscope, they had no clue what they were. And they said, I'm seeing threads under the microscope. Okay? And later on, when people came up and understood meiosis, it means reduction. Okay, when the number of chromosomes are being reduced. Here we go. Let's go over a few definitions in here. Cellular organizations of the genetic material. I did not write down the definitions for you guys here because I want you to take notes. I don't know what else. Whatever weapon I had, I throw it at you guys. And I don't know what else I can do. After 21, 22, since age 22, I start teaching. No, I don't want 30 years. I gave my age away. Marisa, I'm giving my age. 30 years of teaching. I just celebrated a couple of years back. 32. I don't know what else to throw at you. You're still passive, I think, a little bit. But some of these days, one of these days, you're gonna come around and say, Amir, I am the gladiator. Have you watched the movie Gladiator?
Yeah.
Say, Amir, I'm the gladiator. I will kill everything and everybody comes my way. Something like that. Or something. God forbid, but as far as knowledge goes. As far as knowledge. Okay, genome. Genome, the definition of genome is genetic makeup. All of the genes in a cell of an, well, I should say in an organism. I should not stick to a cell. I should say an organism. All of the genes of an or study of all of the genes of an organism is called a genome. Very simple. Study of genome is, or genomics is the name of the science. Genome is all of the genes of an organism is called genome. Chromosomes, I draw, this is not good, but anyhow, you can see it. This is a chromosome. A chromosome is a combination of the DNA and protein molecules, which are found in nucleus of a cell. Well, bacteria have chromosome also, but that's the DNA and protein molecules. The protein molecules are called histone, and RNA, histone. So the protein molecules in the chromosomes are called histone. So combination of DNA and histone makes up chromosome. Chromatin is when you have the chromosomes that are not condensed. That's called chromatin. Inside of a cell, if you would, inside of a cell you have the nucleus, and this is, you see something like this. Okay, you cannot even make it out on your slides. On your slides you cannot make out chromatin. Okay, but when they become condensed and ready to divide, then they're called chromosomes. This is a chromosome. This is a chromosome. I hope I'm making some sense a little bit. And then you have somatic cells. Somatic cells, it means cells of the body. So soma on your prefix and suffixes, it means the body cells. The cells in your eye is a somatic cell. The cells in your muscle, the cells of your muscle is a somatic cell. Skin is somatic cells. Amir, do we have any other cells? Yeah, the other cells are gametes. All of the cells in your body are somatic cells, except gametes. Gametes are eggs and sperm. Can you give me another example of a gamete besides sperm and egg? They call gametes are referred to as reproductive cells. Reproductive cells are gametes. Can you give me another example of gametes? Some of you are fighting it right now. You take Allegra? Do you take any allergies? Yes, I know, but allergy is not a gamete. What is it that causes your allergies? Anybody? Nobody?
Histamines.
Before histamines, you have to inhale something that histamine is produced. What is it? Nobody? Pollen. Pollen is a gamete. Sperm is a gamete. Egg is a gamete. Do you know any other gamete? I don't know any. You bring it up. I gave you 3 examples of gametes. Pollen, egg, sperm. Sister chromatids, when chromosomes duplicate, you see that chromosome right here? When chromosomes duplicate, becomes 2, which we will talk about that. Okay, when chromosomes duplicate, become 2, then this one is called a sister chromatid. That one is called a sister chromatid. And you will talk about that. But right now I'm giving you a general view, a big picture. Hopefully will come up with you understand the rest of it. And centromeres is where these two are connected together. It's a narrow part of, you see that's a narrow part, that's called centromere. Okay, sister chromatid are connected together at centromere. Is there any question about any of those words up there? Guess what? They're going to be in your exam, there's going to be a quiz, there's going to be a lab practical. What are you going to do with it? I don't know, Amir, I'll feed it to my dog. I had internet classes, students send me a private message, Amir, my dog ate my computer, or my dog ate my book. What should I do? What do you want me to do? And the rest is up to you. Is that right? Life is like a parachute jump. You better get it right. Catherine, Katrina, make a sentence for me. Anybody? Stephen? These are the criteria. You have to make a sentence for me that has 10 words. Those 10 words, each word has 2 letters. You cannot use the word the. The has 3 letters, T-H-E. 2 letters. You cannot use the word I. I has 1 letter. All 10 words in that sentence must have 2 letters. Make a sentence, 10 words. You all know what words mean. Some of the way. 10 words, and each word must have 2 letters. Not more than 2. You gave up? Evita, you gave up?
That makes sense though.
The one that I'm going to give you makes sense.
No.
Brian? No? You give up? You guys give up so easy, my God. If, how many letters that is? If it is, how many letters so far? Each one of them have 2, right? If it is 2B, comma. I didn't say, that was the trick part. I didn't say you can use comma. If it is 2B, it is up to God. Huh? What is the word? How can I finish that sentence? If it is to be, it is what? Up to what? Thank you. Not God. Whatever you said first day to me. Amir, I want to become a doctor. I want to become PA. I want to become civil engineer. I want to become a teacher. It's up to who? God? Oh, my parents. It's up to my parents. They have to want in order that I become a teacher. If it is to be, it is up to me. Catch you. Yes.
Can you repeat the definition you want for chromosome?
Chromosome is the condensed form of chromatin. When the cells are ready to divide, when the cells get the signal, let's divide, bless you. When the cells get the signal, let's divide. Then, and chromosomes are made up of DNA, you should know that, and protein molecule called histone. The protein molecule in there called histone. If it is to be, it is up to me. Okay? So, anyhow, I don't know. I said, and I'm not like your other teachers, and I'm not like your parents. Maya, I'm not like them. To tell them, go study. No, I'm telling you exactly how to study. Then the rest is up to you. I told you that twice so far this semester. I'm not going to say it again. It's in the PowerPoints, it's in UC Davis PowerPoint. You have to read your notes every night from beginning to the end. This is the beginning. Not exam number 1 and 2. This is the beginning. You have to read these if you want to pass this class every night. If this doesn't make sense, you have many other resources available to you. Your textbook, that's where I start. Textbook does not make sense? Google. Where did I get that picture from? Not from your textbook, from Google. Put it up there. But anyhow, let's go. Here is a chromosome, answering your question. Here, this is a sister chromatid, and this is a sister chromatid. And they are connected together at what? Centromere. Quiz question when you come back from spring break. I'm sorry to break it to you. Spring break. You study the whole 5-6 chapters. You study, you should, if it was me. I try to put it up during spring break or during this week. All 4 or 5 chapters that is in next exam, exam number 3. Hopefully, you can get 100 in next exam, and with your 60 in the last 2 exams, so bring up your grade to a C. Am I right? The math, am I speaking of the math? Did you go on Friday? Quiz question. What is the basic fundamental of all sciences? Biology is based on what?
Life.
No. Biology is based on math. Improve your math. You will become a successful person in life. Physics based on math. Chemistry based on math. Biology, it is, believe it or not, it's based on math. Just the common language among all other sciences is math. Nobody can argue that. Nobody will argue that. Common language in all sciences, philosophy, history, make it, whatever you want to talk about, it's math. And I'm not teaching math, right? I'm teaching biology. But anyhow, chromosomes. Here it is, so you have a cell with 1 chromosome inside, which became condensed. Before this, it was a chromatin. And right here, the chromosomes are made up of DNA, something you've seen at the beginning of semester. Okay, so chromosomes, and then of course you have centromere right here. And then what happens that chromosomes become 2. And we'll talk about that. Then now you have a sister chromatid. You have a sister chromatid, just like this. My arm, imagine this is a chromosome. When the cell get the signal, divide, right? So this arm, this chromosome becomes 2, multiplies. The chromosomes multiply, and then they are connected together at centromere. And then eventually, when the cell divides, this chromosome goes to one cell, and that chromosome goes to another cell. Now, from one cell, you ended up with 2 cells. One chromosome goes to one cell, one chromosome goes to another cell. 2 cells. Okay, and that's what is happening here. The chromosomes first divide, and then right here, as I said, and then this chromosome is made up of DNA, and that chromosome is made up of DNA and histone. Okay, so eukaryotic cell division consists of mitosis and cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is when the definition of mitosis. Okay, let's go back. I'm breaking the news to you. Mitosis. What is mitosis? Mitosis in Greek means thread. The thread that they put through needle, that type of thread I'm talking about. Right? The type of thread I'm talking about, that you pass a thread through a needle. They saw it on a microscope. They saw those thread-looking things on a microscope. They had no clue what it was, so they call it thread. Mitosis. Also, mitosis, nowadays we know mitosis, it means nuclear division. Nuclear division. That's what mitosis means. And cytokinesis means cytoplasm division. Cytoplasm division. Together, they make up what? If you're with me, you can answer my question. Together, they make up what? No. Together, they make up cell division. Together, they make up cell division. And of course, eukaryotic cells, as Evita said, are like that because they have nucleus. Eukaryotic cells have nucleus. Meiosis, on the other hand, might as well you write it down in your notes. Your textbook wants me to talk about it. No, I don't have to, but meiosis, it means reduction. When you're reducing number of chromosomes. When we get to meiosis, after mitosis, I'll go over that. Okay, so meiosis yields non-identical daughter cells that have half as many chromosomes as parent cells. Yes, he gave you a good, semi-good, complete definition of meiosis. Prokaryotic cells like bacteria, Evita said, do not undergo meiosis. They exchange nuclear material. That's all they do. Prokaryotes do not have mitosis and meiosis. Prokaryotes do not have, you all know what prokaryotes are. Somebody break the news to me. What is prokaryotes? Bacteria, thank you. Bacteria are prokaryotic cells. So bacteria do not have mitosis and meiosis. They do not have them. Okay, what are phases of cell cycle? The cell cycle consists of mitosis, the M phase, mitosis and cytokinesis, okay, and then interphase, the cell growth and copying of chromosomes in a preparation for cell division. Interphase, 90% of cell cycle time, 90% of the times cell spend its time during interphase. We divide into subsets, so interphase have 3 subsets. Interphase has 3 subsets, G1, S, and G2. G1, S, and G2 in that order. That's the order they are. The first gap, G stands for gap. S stands for synthesis. What do you think synthesis, what kind of synthesis occurs during that phase?
DNA.
Thank you. The DNA duplicates, the chromosomes duplicate. That's what happens. When you come back from spring break, I want you to read all those 5, 6 chapters. That is in next exam. Chapter 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How many chapters is that? 5, 6, 21, 22. That's your homework. So you can answer my class questions, just like that. And G2 phase is the second gap. Okay, the cell growth grows during all 3 phases, but chromosomes are duplicated only during the S phase. Marisela, are you with us? Yes? Here is a cycle, if you would. What happens right here during a short period of time, right here, if this is a 24-hour clock, imagine this is a 12-hour, whatever it is, whatever you want, 1 hour, whatever you want to make it, 1 minute, whatever you want to make it up. If this is the entire cycle, a cell cycle, as you can see, a short period of time, cell spends on mitosis. And of course, very short cell division, mitotic phase, M phase. A very small one is mitosis, and of course, cytokinesis, cytoplasm divides occurs here. And then the cell goes into G1 and spend a good time on S and spend a good time on G2. And then after G2 is the M phase, G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase, and M phase. Am I making some sense, everybody? Okay, so right here, that's where the cell divides and become two cells, and each one of those cells will go to a gap 1, and if they are going to divide again, S, and then G2. Here it is, lab slides, if you would, right here. Hold on. Here is the G2, he's starting in with G2 right here. Chromosome starts, nucleolus will disappear eventually. You all know what nucleolus is. Right? So right here, the nuclear envelope, there is a nuclear envelope in G2 phase, interphase, this is interphase. And then right here, when the chromosomes become condensed, you can see them kind of, sort of, okay, on this slide, but here's a cartoon. And then what happens, the aster and the centrioles, did he he mention it? Centrioles? He did not. Yeah, right here. Centrosomes. The centrosomes with centrioles right here. That's what I was looking for. The whole complex is called centrosome. And then inside of it, these protein molecules called centrioles, they start moving apart from each other. In order, what happens, these are microtubules, they attach to chromosomes to pull the chromosomes apart. Okay, that's what the idea is. So, but these were together at one time, what's called centrosomes, and then inside of it, these protein, but this is all protein. All of these protein molecules, microtubules. You learned about this, microtubules, last exam material. So, and eventually, the chromosomes, as you can see on a real picture, this is a real picture, the chromosomes are getting separated, kind of, sort of, and right here are your centrioles. Okay, right here is centriole, right here is centrioles, they pull the chromosomes apart. Kinetochore, another terminologies maybe you should know, are the proteins attached to chromosomes right here, not the microtubules. Okay, the microtubules right here that attach to the chromosomes are called kinetochore. Well, the microtubules, I said not microtubules, the microtubules that attach to the chromosomes is called kinetochore. Sorry about that. I didn't. But if you read your textbooks and look at these things, I hope it will make sense. And then the next stage, let's go back. I'm sorry. Let's go back. This is where prophase is. Not on your slides. Do not worry about pre-metaphase or pre-prophase. Just worry about prophase. When I was a student, I had to identify what pro-metaphase and so on and so forth. But don't worry, you guys don't worry about it. Right here, after chromosomes become condensed and it's prophase, it's metaphase. And guess what? Chromosome line up where? In the middle. Very good, thank you. If you read your textbook or other things, they say the chromosomes line up in equator. Equator is middle of the earth, right? Imagine this is the Mother Earth and chromosomes are lining up right in the middle. That's metaphase. You can see that in your slides. Nice and beautiful. The slides we have. You can see metaphase. Chromosomes are lining up in the middle of the cell. These are chromosomes. The blue is chromosomes. Okay, after metaphase, then the sister chromatids separate. You remember I used my arm? This is a sister chromatid. This is a sister chromatid. And they line up in the middle of the cell. And then each one of them separate. And this one goes to that cell. And that one goes to that cell. When they separate, it's called anaphase. Anaphase. It means they're opposite. Okay? Sister chromatid separate. And then cytokinesis occurs. Right here, the cytoplasm is dividing, nucleus finished dividing, the material, the nucleus disappeared. There is no nucleus after, right here, after prophase, pro-metaphase, that's what he's saying. There is no nuclear membrane anymore. Disintegrate. Okay, so right here, now the nucleus starts forming, the nuclear membrane starts forming, and the chromatins, the chromosomes become chromatins now, and then they separate, cytoplasm separates, and now the cell, each one of those cells is ready to divide again. Okay? Here they are. Again, the cells, each one of those cells go into G2 phase after division, and prophase, and so on and so forth. Right here, they're separating this PowerPoints that I put for you guys. It's breaking all of that slides together. Let's watch this video. Oh, that's it. That was a quick one. Microtubules is cell division. These are real big. These are microtubules. These are chromosomes. If you are watching this at home. Okay. Let's watch it one more time. Just they're showing you the 3-dimension. Okay, anaphase. Same thing, again, microtubules. Nuclear envelope. Here is a cytokinesis, cleavage ferro. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Cleavage ferro. And nucleus is forming again. You guys see that? So at home, when you're watching these things, pay attention. And then of course he's showing you the 2 cells are becoming 4 cells, and so on and so forth. Another one? No, I guess prophase. Here we go, pro-metaphase. The chromosomes are becoming visible. Right here, the last one, chromosomes are not really visible in the nucleus. And then here, the nuclear membrane disintegrate. It's not there anymore. And right here, chromosomes line up in the middle of the cells. And centrioles are in the opposite end. They're pulling the chromosomes apart by kinetochore. Okay, and then here the sister chromatids separate. Sister chromatids separate. That's anaphase. Nice, beautiful anaphase. And right here you have the cleavage ferro. Sister chromatid, cleavage ferro, and you have cytokinesis. Maybe there's a.
This soccer player's knee will be as good as new in a few weeks, thanks to mitosis, a type of cell division that generates new cells for growth and repair. Let's move into a cell to witness the events of mitosis. Before a cell can divide, it must first duplicate the chromosomes stored in its nucleus. During chromosome duplication, several bubbles open up along the chromosome. Each bubble grows until it merges with an adjacent bubble. Each chromosome now consists of 2 identical copies called sister chromatids. Getting closer, we see that each sister chromatid consists of DNA wound around small...
Oh. Sorry, I was going to pause it.
Several
No?
links, thanks to mitosis, a type of cell division that generates new cells for growth and repair. Let's move into a cell to witness the events of mitosis. Before a cell can divide, it must first duplicate the chromosomes stored in its nucleus. During chromosome duplication, several bubbles open up along the chromosome. Each bubble grows until it merges with an adjacent bubble. Each chromosome now consists of 2 identical copies called sister chromatids. Getting...
What? You must be kidding me. How come I cannot how do I pause this? Huh?
Cell can divide.
Does anybody know how to pause it?
Let's move into a cell to witness the events of mitosis. Before a cell can divide, it must first duplicate the chromosomes stored in its nucleus. Along the chromosome, each
Yes, okay, thanks.
bubble grows until it merges with an adjacent bubble. Each chromosome now consists of 2 identical copies called sister chromatids. Getting close.
Right here. These are DNA. These are histone. I wrote it on the board. Histone. 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 DNA. DNA. DNA wraps around histone and goes to the next histone and wrap around. Am I making some sense? So chromosome is made up of DNA and protein molecules. Those protein molecules are called histone. Thank you for being patient with me.
Closer, we see that each sister chromatid consists of DNA wound around small proteins called histones.
She already
The
mentioned it.
sister chromatids begin to coil into tight helical fibers. Outside the nucleus, centrosomes that duplicated earlier move away from each other to opposite sides of the cell. Microtubules extend from the centrosomes, forming the mitotic spindle. Back in the nucleus, the DNA forms loops, becoming more compacted. These structures fold back on themselves, eventually condensing into a shorter and thicker chromosome consisting of 2 sister chromatids. As the chromosomes continue to condense, the nuclear envelope breaks up. The array of spindle microtubules is now extensive, and the chromosomes are fully condensed. Spindle fibers from each pole attach to protein structures located at the centromere of each sister chromatid. As the chromosomes are bound by spindle fibers from opposite poles, they move first one way and then another.
Metaphase.
The counteracting forces of the spindle eventually cause all the chromosomes to end up at the center of the cell, as if arranged on an imaginary plate.
What phase that is? Huh? Metaphase. Very good.
Opposite poles. They move first one way and then another.
Metaphase, yeah. You already said.
The counteracting forces of the spindle eventually cause all the chromosomes to end up at the center of the cell, as if arranged on an imaginary plate. The sister chromatids are released from each other, each becoming a full-fledged chromosome. They are moved toward opposite poles of the cell, pulled along the spindle fibers attached to them. At the same time, overlapping spindle fibers that are not attached to chromosomes continue to lengthen, pushing the poles farther apart. Once the chromosomes arrive at their destination, they become less condensed. 2 new nuclear envelopes form, completing mitosis, the division of one nucleus into 2 genetically identical daughter nuclei. The cytoplasm divides by the process of cytokinesis, forming 2 separate daughter cells. In your body, millions of cells divide every second, providing new cells for growth and for repair of damaged cells.
So, she did not mention any neurons and muscle cells, but the rest of your body do divide. And of course, the old cells will die. Well, what is the name of, I gave you a name for that. You had a test on it. When programmed cell death is called apoptosis.
Apoptosis.
Right? Those cells, the cells of your skin dies. Remember, the cells of your skin dies every 2 to 3 weeks. And new cells grow back. The cells from your mouth through your anus, they die every 2 to 3 days. They die. 2 to 3 days, they die. And the new ones will grow back. Same as the cells in your kidney, your liver, your bones, all over your body. They die and new ones will grow back. There's a study, there are some research that every 7 years, your whole entire body dies and new cells will grow back. But not immediately all at once. It takes about 7 years. Even your neurons, even your muscle cell will die. But and the new ones will grow back.
But the same
Okay?
number amount.
But same numbers. Same numbers. Okay? So that research is saying that we thought for a long time that the neurons will not die. They will die. But new ones will grow back in their place. But the numbers do not change. Animal mitosis, again, we are spending too much time on videos, but that's okay. Let's go see what we have. Here, okay, this is another, no voice, no volume. It's showing you chromosomes that they are moving and multiplying right here. That's metaphase right there. And now sister chromatids, come on, separate.